The midday sun cast long, lazy shadows over the dusty camp of Dutch's gang, where Arthur Morgan sat apart from the others, his thoughts tangled like the wisps of smoke from the campfire. He was a man burdened with memories as heavy as his saddlebags, his solitude a testament to years of hardship. It was a rare moment of quiet, soon disrupted by a familiar voice.
Arthur, hey, Mary sent a letter. She wants you to read it.
Arthur looked up, his eyes narrowing slightly. He took the envelope, its paper worn and familiar, a relic of a past he's tried hard to forget. He turned the letter over in his hands, his calloused fingers tracing the edges.
Arthur, I don't know if this will find you, or if you'll even care to read it, but I had to try. There are things I need to say, things I should have said long ago.
Arthur's jaw tightened. Her handwriting was the same, delicate, careful, as if every word carried weight. His thumb brushed over her name at the bottom of the page, his heart caught somewhere between regret and resentment.
After all these years, figures Mary would find a way.
He let out a slow breath, folding the letter with deliberate care before tucking it inside his coat. The past had a way of creeping back, no matter how far he rode from it. With a final glance toward the horizon, Arthur made his way toward his tent, the letter heavier than it ought to be in his pocket. Nonetheless, the pull was too strong, guiding him to Chadwick Farm. The journey was a solitary one, marked by the sweeping plains, unfurling like a sunlit canvas beneath the wide-open sky, Arthur's silhouette a lone figure against the horizon. The farm came into view, its frame outlined sharp against the blue sky. Arthur dismounted cautiously, the weight of his mission heavy on his shoulders. As he approached the farmhouse, an armed woman stepped into view. Her eyes were wary, but not hostile, a sentry standing firm.
Arthur, I need your help. It's Jamie.
Her voice quivered, a tremor of desperation threading through the tight-lipped resolve.
So I'm too rough to marry into your family, but it's okay to ask me to save your brother.
A half-smirk tugged at the corner of his mouth, almost sad in its irony. Mary's gaze did not flinch, her expression a portrait of pleading vulnerability. Their history hung between them, a pendulum of regret and unresolved feelings, swinging with every word unspoken. The air in Cumberland Forest was thick with mystery, the kind that creeps into a man's bones and lives there. Arthur rode deeper into the wilderness, guided by rumors and old instinct. The Colonians awaited, their rituals as strange as the heavy cadence of chanted prayer that resonated off the trees, the forest's own voice, an eerie counterpoint.
The boy has chosen a path of safety. What path have you chosen, sir?
Only when dealing with idiots. Now let me talk to the boy.
Arthur's gaze was unwavering, a silent force meeting the fervor of the group, each member a believer ensnared by a dream without substance. Jamie stood amongst them, his face a young man's cocktail of confusion, seeking guidance in Arthur's determined eyes. A sudden charge of hooves shattered the stillness. Jamie fled on horseback, the pounding rhythm of pursuit echoing the urgency in Arthur's heart. The landscape blurred past them, a tapestry of green and earthy brown flashing by as Arthur pushed his mount harder. The boy's despair was a palpable thing, almost visible in the way he rode, a specter of his intent dancing dangerously close to the edge.
I don't want to live anymore.
Kid, just calm down.
They reached the train tracks, tension crackling like static in the air as Jamie teetered perilously close to a dire decision. In a heartbeat that stretched into eternity, Arthur lunged forward, his hand outstretched, finding purchase and pulling Jamie back to safety. The boy's resistance crumbled in the wake of Arthur's solid presence, a lighthouse cutting through the fog of his troubled mind. The ride back was introspective. The silence between Arthur and Jamie, a companionable one, filled with the unspoken words of redemption and gratitude. As they neared the train station, the distant sound of a whistle growing louder, they shared a moment of understanding, a bond reforged in the fire of crisis.
You taught me how to ride a horse in Colonia, though.
Oh, Arthur, thank you.
Mary's eyes shimmered with relief, and something else, a glimmer of what might have been. Arthur watched the train pull away, its churning wheels a metaphor of journeys taken and those left behind. As steam enveloped the platform, his thoughts meandered between love and missed chances, the painful clarity of foresight. Yet beneath it all was the steady thrum of life continuing, an open road stretching before him, offering the promise of new beginnings.